learning what's new. With open minds, we engage and explore. Look to show we inform, in wisdom we store. Through words we teach, and insights we proclaim. Together we grow, seeking knowledge flame. Lecture show we share, lessons in the air. Bound by this journey in knowledge we care. Lecture show we inform, with truth we write. Building bridges of wisdom, shining bright.
Viewers, Flockkill Show is back. We promised to continue with Java methods after we had looked at the main structure or the components of Java main method. So today we are just looking at the types of Java methods. But to begin with, I shall start by just going through a preview of Java methods. And I would start by saying that Java methods, and in Java, methods are blocks of code that perform a specific task. And they are defined within classes and can be called to execute certain behavior. There are different types of methods, and they can be classified based on their behavior, return type, and how they are invoked. And below, we shall look at a number of these methods. But before we go to those types, I will again remind you the basic structure of a method. Any method is always characterized by having a return type, method name, and parameters. Then, of course, for the syntax, we have the method body after you introduce the curly brackets. What do we mean by return type? Return type specifies the type of value the method will return, e.g., it could be integer, it could be string, it could be void for no return value, especially for the case of the main method. Then we have the method name. The name of the method, which should follow Java's naming conventions, and which also should not be in uppercase. Then we have the parameters, which are at times optional. A method can accept 0 or more parameters that are passed to 8 when it is invoked. Then we have the method body. After you have introduced the method, and of course you have specified the return type, then we have the issue of the method body. And this is the place within the curly brackets where, after introducing your method, you are supposed to write the Java statements or whatever code you want to come up with. We have an example in our case. We have a method here, which is public class main. This is a main method. And if it is a main method, as we looked at the other time, then this is a method with no return type and no parameters. And so we have public static, void, and then we have print hello. You print hello. Now, if you look at this, we only have brackets, and like when we add the case of the main method components, where we discussed the string arguments array part, you can see it's not here. Then from here we have the method body, whereby now we have system.out.println hello world. Then we have this other part here, public static int and number. This is a method with a return type. In this time we have int a and int b. So when it comes to returning, it should return a plus b. Then we have public static void main string. Then we have the brackets arguments, hello or print hello. Then you can see this call the print hello method. Int sum and numbers, that is 3 and 4, call the add numbers method. System.out.println sum, and of course this is a sign of concatenation, so that you now have the sum being put here. Then of course, after opening the method body, you are supposed to close, and you can see the closing curly brackets. Then quickly we go to the types of methods in Java. The first method we have is void methods, and these are methods which do not return a value. For example, public static void print message. Inside the brackets you can't see any arguments, you can't see so it will not return any value. But then you have the output here, system.out.println. This is a void method, and of course after you introduce the body here with a curly brackets, you close it here with another curly bracket. Then the second type of method, number 2, is return methods. These methods return a value of a specific type, and the type or the return type is specified in the method definition. So we have public static int multiply into brackets int a int b. Then you open the method body where you return a multiplied by b. Then of course you close the method body. Then number 3, we have parameterized methods, and these are methods which accept arguments into brackets parameters to perform operations. Public static void greet. Then inside here we have string name. Then within the method body we have system.out.println hello, then concatenation sign the name. Then of course any statements we have will always end them with a semicolon, and of course you close the main method body here. Then we go to number 4, overloaded methods. Java allows you to have multiple methods with the same name as long as the parameters are different, either in type or number. For example, public static void print int a, system.out.println a. Then you can see this other method here, public static void print string. The only difference here is the data type string, but all the other parts are the same, system.out.println a. Whereas the first one prints an integer, the second one will print a string. Then we go to number 5, recursion. A method that calls itself is called a recursive method. This can be useful for solving problems like factorial or Fibonacci series. For example, public static int factorial int n. Then within the method body we have, if n is equal to 0, you open the brackets, curly brackets, return 1. Else return n multiplied by factorial n minus 1. Then of course you close the method body. Then we have the method signatures. A method signature consists of the method's name and parameter list. The return type is not part of the method signature. This is important when overloading methods. And then to understand this further, we look at the access modifiers. Java methods can have access modifiers that control the visibility of the method. And the access modifiers are as follows. Number 1, we have public, which is accessible from anywhere. Then we have private, which is only accessible within the class. Then we have the access modifier protected. And when a method is protected, it can only be accessed within the same package and subclasses. Then we have the keyword default, where we mean there is no modifier, accessible only within the same package. Then we have what we are calling static methods. A static method belongs to the class, not instances of the class. This can be called without creating an object of the class. For example, what we were discussing in the main method components. Public static void display message. This one has no arguments. System.out.println. This is a static method. Then quickly we shall look at what we are calling method overriding. In the context of inheritance, you can override a method in a subclass to provide a specific implementation. For example, we have the class animal. Then within the body, we shall have public void sound. This is the method within the class. Then within the method body, we have system.out.println some animal sound. Then we close the method body. Then we close the class body. Then when it comes to that, then down here, because we have the issue of inheritance, class dog extends animal. This is a subclass. Remember, dog is an animal. We have the parent class, which is an animal. But then here we have the dog class, which is a child class. And so you have the override, public void sound, and system.out.println back. Then of course you close the method body and the class. Then we have what we are calling method invocation. To invoke a method, static methods are called by the class name, and instance methods are called using an object of the class. Notice the difference. The main difference between a static method and an instance method is that while a static method is called by the class name, instance methods are called using an object of the class. For example, public class example, public static void main string and arguments, example object is equals new example, object dot instance method, calling an instance method, these are comment, example dot static method, calling a static method. And then down here we have public void instance method, system.out.println instance method called. Public static void instant static method and system.out.println static method called. Then what is passing arguments to methods? Methods can accept parameters or arguments that are passed when invoking the method. These parameters can be primitive types like int, float, etc. or reference types like string, array, objects, etc. Example with primitive type parameters: public class multiplier, public int multiply int x int y, return x multiplied by y, multiplies two integers. Then last but not the least, we have final methods. A final method cannot be overridden in a subclass. This is useful to prevent modifying certain methods in subclasses. We have a class animal, public final void sleep, system.out.println animal is sleeping. Then of course we close the method. Then in summary, we can say that Java methods are essential for restructuring your code and making it reusable. They allow you to perform specific tasks, and their flexibility, like overloading, recursion, and default methods, enables clean and efficient coding practices. Understanding the different types of methods, how to pass parameters, and the various modifiers like static, final, synchronized, etc. will make you more proficient in Java programming. Thank you so much for listening to Flockel. So continue viewing our channel for more updates. We shall keep you more informed. If you like our videos, you can also share them to others. Thank you so much.
Learning what's new with open minds, we engage and explore. Look a show we inform, in wisdom we store. Through words we teach, and insights we proclaim. Together we grow, seeking knowledge flame. Look a show we share, let's